All right, the game fans, I am very excited about this news. I remember it was back in either 2019 or mid 2020 when the news broke that originally, oh yeah, it was definitely 2019 because I'm actually looking at an article right now about it. The game Reboot might not be moving forward at its original network as originally planned. An hour-long revival of the hit series was reportedly in development at the CW. Now, back in 2019, we heard that the game was coming back. The original writers and, the co-creators, they were coming together to reboot the game in a way where it would be some of the OG cast taking a new generation under their wing. Like basically a new generation of sabers and sunbeams and whatnot. And it would just have a same vibe to it. I guess it would kind of be like, and remember, this is 2019, so I don't remember all the details off the top of my head. But basically, the plan was to really bring the show back to its original roots. Not necessarily the drama that BET warped it into, but the dramedy that it originally was on the CW, at least for the first couple seasons, whereas the third season, I liked it for what it was, but it just didn't have that same magic of the first two seasons, mainly because by that point you could tell the CW was over the show, and they pretty much tried their best to wrap up the story as much as they could. And I think it was a few months ago, I had watched season 4 and most of season 5 on BET Plus. And the show was actually better than I remembered it. But then I remember when I got into season 6, I'm like, oh, that's where the show got bad. So, move into early 2020, and we hear that the network and the creators reached a roadblock because of the fact that the CW, they wanted to change elements of the script. The creators felt so strongly about this reboot that they decided to take it elsewhere. And that was the last we heard of it. And I remember, maybe 6 times over the past year, people have asked me about the game, and I'm like, well, even though we haven't heard anything, I'm confident that it's going to come back the right way. I'd rather the fact that the creators didn't want to butt heads with the CW. It's like, look, you know what? Here's what we want to do. If you don't want to rock with it, we'll find somebody else that will. Turns out there was an information about this way back in September 2020 that even I didn't know about. It said the game Reboot is in development at Paramount Plus. I still don't even have an account, so this went completely under the radar. The article, the reboot's in the works. Viacom recently announced a plethora of shows being relaunched under its new streaming service, and the game is one of them. The details of the reboot are very slim, but the platform is set to debut in 2021. Obviously, Paramount Plus. There is no word yet if stars of the show, Melanie, Derwin, Tasha, if any of them will return. Now, let's go back to about 48 hours ago on May 13th, and news has broke. Paramount Plus announces the game Reboot with original cast. Now, here's what we do know. Hosea Sanchez and Wendy Raquel Robinson, Malik and Tasha Mack, Tasha T to the Missack, are confirmed to play their original roles. Now, I'm in love with this so much. However, I don't think it's been confirmed yet, but you can't have Tasha and Malik without your boy TT, Barry Floyd. Unless TT is back with the duo to make it the trio, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it as much, because going back and watching the game those months ago on BET Plus, I remember how funny TT was, but at the same time, I don't think I remembered how much of a breath of fresh air he was, because he really brought the comedy aspect to the show. But I'll read some of this article here. I'm reading from Essence Magazine. And also, go ahead and hit a thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and select all. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Time to turn the game on, and we don't mean Sunday football. Paramount Plus has given a 10-episode series order for the reboot of the CW and BET series The Game. Man, It's going to be reimagined with original cast members Wendy and Hosea returning to their roles of Tasha Mack and Malik Wright. All right, okay. As opposed to the original San Diego location, the show will now take place in Las Vegas and tackle black culture through the lens of pro football. I'm happy. Okay. 15 years ago, I created the game and am so... 15 years ago? Good Lord, man. 15 years ago, I created the game and I'm so proud of the success we had. And that I was able to create characters and stories that resonated with so many people, said Brock Akil, as reported by Deadline. I couldn't be happier about leaving my beloved characters like Tasha and Malik in the hands of Devin, Wendy, and Hosea, who I now will build off of the rich foundation the show has. All right, let me read. I'm just breezing through the article. I'll leave a link to the full article, but I'm just really hitting the high points here. Okay. Yeah, and the rest is just pretty much, a rundown of the history of the game from when it was created to when the CW let it go and then BET picked it up. But yeah, this is great stuff. But that's all I have for this particular video here. And you feel free to let me know your thoughts. I'm glad that these shows are really getting a shot to come back. And I know we live in a day and age of nostalgia, but I really do feel like with the original creators behind it, they can really bring this show back in a new way that captures the element of the original series. And that's what I want. If it can capture the atmosphere of the original 2 seasons, then I'm really going to enjoy it. Now, don't get me wrong. We can tackle, black culture through the lens of pro football without it being too in your face. Like, if you look at the original series, they really did cover a lot of heavy stuff. But at the same time, it didn't feel like so dramatic like it was on BET. Like, Jason taking steroids, the temptations of the game, being a pro athlete, like when Derwin hooked up with Drew Sidora, and just the list goes on. I mean, hell, even Malik and his story arc with finding his reuniting with his father. There was some heavy stuff, but at the same time, there were some comedic aspects to it. So as long as this show is, I don't know if it's going to be as good as the original, but at the same time, if it captures the essence, no pun intended, because of Essence Magazine, I think it's going to be good. But let me know your thoughts. Are you excited? As always, the closer we get to the release date, which honestly we don't know yet, not to mention, even though we have Tasha and Malik, we don't know who the new characters are going to be, and we don't know if there are any other OG cast members coming to the series. So I can't wait. Fingers crossed we get everybody back at some point. Derwin, Melanie, Kelly, TT. I'll be happy. So thanks so much for tuning in. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. And with that being said, I'll talk to you all in the next video.